Hello and welcome to the In News series of Drishti IAS. I am Pooja Divedi and today we are going to talk about how government has tightened rules for NGOs who are seeking foreign contribution. This topic is important from the perspective of prelims as well as GS mains papers. So let's begin by seeing the topics of discussion step by step. We will talk about why in news. We will also talk about the new rules which have been issued. We will talk about FCRA Act of 2010 and the amendment in the year 2020. We will talk about reasons for the move and its impact, both positive and negative. We will also talk about way forward, and at the last I'm going to ask you a prelims-based question for which if you know the answer you can comment in the comment segment. So why in news? Because the center has further tightened rules for entities and NGOs which are seeking foreign funding. The newly notified rules, the center has made an insertion in Rule 9 which deals with obtaining registration or prior permission for receiving foreign funds, which makes the entire process much more cumbersome. So NGOs, in order to receive foreign funding, need themselves to get registered under the FCRA Act, and under it they receive a certificate which is valid for 5 years and it can be renewed. After it gets expired, it can be renewed in the period of 6 months. Now let's talk about the rules. The new rules which were notified on Wednesday state that any organization which is seeking foreign funding and registered under the FCRA Act must be working for at least a period of 3 years, and it should have spent a minimum amount of rupees 15 lakh on its core activities for the last financial 3 years. Core activities are basically those activities for which any NGO is registered under the FCRA Act. Any organization seeking prior permission for receiving a specific amount from a specific donor for conducting a specific activity shall submit a specific commitment letter by the donor indicating the amount of foreign contribution as well as for what purpose it is going to be used. The center has said that if the value of foreign contribution is more than rupees 1 crore, then it may be given in installments, and the second installment will only be provided after there is a proof that for the first installment which the NGO has received, it has utilized 75% of it on its core activities, and that will be proven by conduction of a proper field inquiry by the government. And after this has been fulfilled, then only the second installment will be provided. There is prohibition of transfer of funds from one NGO to another NGO. Also, there is a cap on administrative expenses through foreign contribution. Previously, it was 50%, but now it is 20%. For example, if previously any NGO received rupees 100, it could spend rupees 50 on its administrative expense such as providing salaries and maintaining office, but now it can spend only rupees 20. Alright, and there is a provision for making Aadhaar mandatory as a proof of identity, and the government can stop the utilization of foreign funds through a summary inquiry. Basically, a summary inquiry is the one inquiry which is conducted in order to see that if an NGO is proper or not. It's not a fictitious NGO, it's not a benami property basically. And also it is providing the funds for proper welfare usage and not engaging in any funding of the terrorism, also not creating communal tension. So this will also be taken care of by the government. However, the rules for declaring an organization as a political party has been relaxed, and student, farmers, workers and youth organizations have been exempted unless they participate in active politics or party politics. Political organizations can't receive foreign funding. Now let's talk about the FCRA Act 2010. FCRA regulates foreign contribution in order to see that these contributions are not getting into the way of international and national security, basically not to undermine the internal security of the country. The first ever enactment of this act was in the year 1976 and it was amended in the year 2010 when a slew of measures were taken under the government. And foreign funding of persons in India is regulated by the FCRA Act and it is implemented by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Individuals are permitted to accept foreign contribution without permission of MHA. However, the monetary limit for acceptance of such foreign contribution should be below rupees 25,000. The Act ensures that the recipients of the foreign contribution adhere to the stated purpose for which such contribution has been obtained. Under the Act, organizations are required to register themselves every 5 years. Now, let's talk about the amendment. Now, there is a prohibition to accept foreign contribution by public servants. Who are public servants? Public servants are any person who is in service or pay of the government or receive remuneration from the government for its performance of any public duty. The FCRA Act of 2010 provided for not for contribution receivable by certain persons such as election candidate, editor or publisher of a newspaper, judges, government servants, members of any legislature and political party among others. And now public servants are also included. The transfer of foreign contribution, as we have already discussed, they are not provided for under the amendment. Now, any person means under this particular act, not the bill, act, includes an individual, an association or registered company. The FCRA Act of 2010 allows transfer of foreign contributions as we have already discussed but not in this amendment. Moving forward, Aadhaar card has been made mandatory as a proof of identification. In case of a foreigner, a copy of the passport or the overseas citizen of India card should also be there for identification. Now, an NGO has to maintain an FCRA account. In the sense, for receiving any sort of donation from foreign, it has to maintain an account in such branches of State Bank of India, New Delhi. Now, the government has taken care of the diversity of the NGOs and the persons may open another FCRA account in any other bank for keeping and utilizing the funds, but for receiving donation, it can maintain the account only in SBI. There is a restriction in utilization of foreign contribution in case the government is suspicious of the fact that any NGO is engaging into terrorist sort of activities. They can conduct an inquiry, and if they find the NGO to be engaging in such activities and the person has contravened the provisions of the FCRA Act, they could stop the utilization of the foreign funding. Now, reduction in the use of foreign contribution, as we have already discussed, from 50% to 20%. Surrender of certificate. What is this basically? If an NGO has fulfilled its duties and if they do not want to be engaged further in the same process, they can surrender their registration certificate. But now the government under the amendment can accept the surrender certificate only after it has conducted the inquiry and seen that yes, they have properly followed all the provisions of the FCRA Act and not engaged in any sort of activities which are undermining the internal security of the country. Alright? Now, what are the reasons for the move? Reasons are many, we will get to them one by one. The annual inflow of foreign contribution has almost doubled between the year 2010 and 2019, but many recipients of the foreign contribution have not utilized these funds for their core activities, for which it was registered under the FCRA. Recently, the Union Home Ministry has suspended the license of 6 NGOs who allegedly were using the foreign funds for religious conversion. And many persons and organizations have not abided by statutory compliances and lost their FCRA license. In the year 2019 November, the Ministry of Home Affairs have cancelled the license of about 1300 associations because they were not adhering to their statutory compliances and not submitting their annual returns even after getting notice many times. So many big NGOs such as Greenpeace, Ford Foundation were also involved in this manner. Such a situation could definitely adversely impact the internal security of the country, because there are so many organizations which are not only working in India but different other countries in the world who are undermining the internal security of India. NIA has marked some of them. What are the impacts? We are going to talk about the positive impacts. First, vigilance will be there, because many NGOs have been reported to propagandize and terrorize the youth, impressionable youth of the country, and undermine the internal security. So this particular step is in the right direction for providing vigilance. Also, it will enhance the culture of accountability. The organizations will need to maintain proper books, proper receipt of foreign contribution, which will enhance culture of accountability, and it will further facilitate the genuine NGOs who are working in the field of providing human rights. All right. What are the impacts in the negative sense? This act will impact those workers which are involved with very small NGOs who work at grassroots levels. Because by capping the administration expense at 20% now, it becomes very hard for even big organizations, big NGOs to work without proper administrative expense. Let's think about the small ones. Now, it will severely impact the collaborative research in the critical field in our country, because world organizations will also get impacted because of this, and this will no longer be able to, the transfer of funds will no longer be able to take place. That is the reason why there is a lot of chance small organizations, small NGOs who work at grassroots level will get impacted. Also, the government aims to control the NGO which engage in dubious activities. However, by failing to recognize the diversity of NGOs which include world-class organizations, these will also get their competitiveness and criticality crushed in the further future. Also, the amendments assume that NGOs which are receiving foreign funds are guilty unless proven otherwise, and it is not in conformation with the international law, which says that no law should criminalize or delegitimize the organizations which are working in the field of defending human rights on the question of the origin of foreign funds. Now, what is the way forward? NGOs are helpful to the government. How? Many NGOs work in close contact with the government to implement their policies. There is an NGO by the name of Akshay Patra. And Akshay Patra as an organization works to implement the scheme of midday meals in school. Also, when the Supreme Court took suo motu cognizance of the plight of migrant workers during the lockdown period, it acknowledged the fact that NGOs stepped up to take care of the migrant workers by providing them food, water, shelter, when the state government and the government of India should have been taking care of the migrant laborers. The government must stick to the ancient Indian ethos of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, and this entire act should not be used in the sense as a vendetta against the NGOs which criticize the policies of the government. Seamless sharing of ideas and resources across national boundaries should be taking place, because the world is grappling with almost same kind of problems, like refugees who are displaced by climate change, refugees who are displaced by ethnic violence. So, constant sharing of ideas between different organizations should take place. Government should definitely treat it as a global community. Now, moving on to the question of prelims. Question, as you can see, in which of the sectors the production-linked incentive scheme has been allowed by the center? First, telecom. Second, steel. Third, electronics. Fourth, solar photovoltaic modules. And fifth, food processing. Now you have to tell me which of the options given here is correct. Please comment in the comment segment. A, 1, 4 and 5. B, 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4, 5. And D, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here I am concluding the news for today. I hope you found this segment informative. Tomorrow I am going to turn up with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.